you for permission.
I got it.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Kristie, thanks so much for being here today. I'm really excited to talk to you about your experience in the Boost program. How long have you been doing these workouts for now?
I've been working with you since December 2020.
And it is now July. So is that 7 months, 8
Yeah,
months?
it's been a while.
Amazing. That time flies, doesn't it? That is amazing. And you have little ones, right? Tell us about your
I do.
kiddos.
Yeah, I have two little ones. So my oldest daughter, Parker, she just turned 4. She has Down syndrome. And then my youngest just turned, wait, I was gonna say she just turned 1, but she's 16 months. That's wow. Yeah, so my
It feels
youngest
like
is
you just turned
16.
one when you're 16 months.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that happened really fast. But yeah, my kiddos keep me super busy and they are full of energy and into everything. And yeah, Parker has a lot of extra things that we have to take care of with her. And my youngest she's really clingy, but I like that too. It's nice. So, I always have my
Yeah.
kiddos and they're always keeping me
So
on my
they're
toes
both there with you at home all the time, right?
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's crazy. And that's why doing workouts at home, that's the only thing that a lot of moms can do. And so
Oh, yeah.
that's great. So share with us a little bit about where you were before you started the Boost workouts and decided to join into this.
I'm going to start way back and say historically, I have been really, really, really bad about following any kind of workout program. I'll get super motivated. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work out every day. I do it for like 3 days and then I'm out. I'm done. I just stop. Like, I don't know what it is
There's some
about.
things you've tried in the past.
I've done so many of the beach body things. I've ordered random, DVD programs, yoga booty ballet, things that are like, oh, this looks like so much fun. I'm going to dance my way to fitness. It's going to be great. And then you get it and it's just like these repetitive, like rote movements and it just doesn't feel good. And they're always super long, like who has time and energy to devote like an hour a day? I don't. Anyway, so I've just always been bad at sticking with things. And at the point when I found you, I was 9 months postpartum. So I was, not feeling the best in my body. And I was feeling really just burned out and tired and unmotivated. Going from having, one kid with special needs, then adding a second kid to the mix, it was a lot. And didn't really have time to do anything. And my self-care had completely it was completely put on the back burner. And I was like, something has to change because I want to be healthier for my kids. I want to have the energy that it takes to keep up with both of them. And I want to set a good example for them and get them to move their bodies and see me doing that every day so that it's something that they will love and have healthy habits, in their life.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you had been kind of on this cycle of not doing things, you need some energy. Where do you think, before we jump into like where you are and where do you think you would have been if you hadn't done this? Like looking back right now, where do you think you would be today if you hadn't done that and taken that step for yourself?
I think that I would be a cranky, miserable mess of a person who was so burned out and tired, and I would be motivated. I don't think that I would be able to run around and crawl around and, toss my kids, whatever. There's no way I would just not be able to keep up. I would always feel like I was 5 steps behind.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. So you came into my world, you met me, you started the Boost workouts, and then how was your experience with the Boost workouts different from all those other programs that you've tried in the past?
Okay, so my initial concern was that I'm not going to have time to do this. My kids keep me going constantly. There's no time. I have no time. I can barely brush my teeth. I can barely take a shower. Like, I'm not
Me
going to have
too.
time
Why
to do
is it
this.
always brushing the teeth? I'm so bad
I,
about brushing my teeth.
it's always the teeth, always. And so, yeah, I was like, there's no way. Like, I feel like I have to fight to put a load of laundry in. But the thing that I love most about your workouts is that it's 20 minutes. I was like, okay, 20 minutes, I can do this. And it's on a screen. So my kids are like, hey, there's a video happening. I'm just going to pay attention to that. And so I'm like, okay, we can do this. And when I started doing your workouts, I found that 20 minutes was the perfect amount of time. Like, that was perfect for me and my stamina and where I'm at. And also the perfect amount of time that I could get away without my kids being like, oh no, this is too long. And,
Yeah.
that felt really great that, it fit into my schedule, to my super busy schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. And so you had said like it met you where you are in your fitness level. So you are basically 9 months postpartum. You were starting from zero. Is that right?
I've always been fairly active, but I mean, I feel like I was starting pretty close to zero. Yeah.
Yeah. So you weren't brand new to exercise, but
Right.
it had been a while. Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
That's
And
good to know.
my range of motion was markedly decreased from where I had been previously before having kids. And I was starting to notice that, getting up and down out of the floor, playing with the
Yeah.
kids. Like, I know I wasn't moving the same way that I used to. And that was really
Mhm.
frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So you got in 20 minutes worked. And so what we do is 20 minutes every day. Did that feel
Yeah.
really intimidating to you when you started to think about doing something every day?
Well, I was nervous that I was going to have this same cycle that I'm like, okay, let's do this, and then totally fizz out. But it, I made a commitment to myself, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this every single day, and I'm going to make it work. And no matter how I felt before I did the workouts, when I did the workout, I always felt so much better afterward. And I had to just remember that every single day. Like, okay, you might not feel like doing this right now, but it's going to be rewarding and you're going to feel good when you finish it. And the great thing about your workouts too is that if there's a day that I feel off, like, you offer options to kind of pull back. Or on days when I'm
Mhm.
feeling super on it, like, you're like, okay, let's level this up. And it's great because I can always kind of adjust my performance to how I'm doing on that day. And I feel like
Yeah,
that's great for people of all,
totally.
like, what would you call fitness levels? They can
Yeah.
jump in, and you can make it work for you.
And I talk about like I'm very intentional about talking about that through the workouts too, right? So like
Oh
when we're
yeah.
in it, I make sure that you acknowledge wherever you are today because
Yeah.
that's the reality of the journey as mom and a special needs mom. Like sometimes we're on, sometimes we're not. And like it's
Yeah.
all okay as long as you're moving your body, right? That
Yeah,
reminder is
exactly.
there constantly. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So you jumped in. Did that get easier? Like how long you said you had to kind of like amp yourself up and remind yourself of that. Did it ever get to the point where it just became routine and part of what you were doing and that resistance went away?
Oh yeah, within a week, I would say. Like, it
Wow.
felt so
Okay.
good. Yeah, I was very surprised that I was so into it. I mean, it was like, this is all that I'm doing for myself currently because it's the only time that I have. And it just felt so good. And
Yeah.
I immediately jumped in and did it. And I made it a part of my routine. I work out at the same time every day. And my kids, they recognize when it's time for, mom to do her workout. It's just what we do every day. And it works really well for all of us.
That's awesome. And that's good for them too, right?
Yeah.
To be able to see that and kind of
Mhm.
structure your day around that. That's amazing. So fast forward now, it's been 7, 8 months. What impact have these workouts and having this as part of your routine had on you?
I don't know if I can list everything, but I'll try. So I feel like I have so much more physical confidence. Um, my husband really likes to hike. We live in a super rural area. Like, we take off out our front door and we go into the woods, 100 yards down the hill, there's a beautiful creek. Like, we live in a very hilly terrain, and we're really blessed that we can just, go and do things like that. In the past, I was never feeling really sure-footed. I was timid. I didn't like going down, steep hills. Add that I'm also, like baby wearing a kid doing all that. And I was feeling really like unsteady and not sure of what I was doing. And, that's been a really amazing benefit of doing your workouts, is that I feel comfortable and confident, and I'm not like gasping for breath after I climb a big hill, because I feel fit and I feel strong, and I never feel weighed down, with my carrying my kids or, baby wearing. And I feel like I'm more flexible. I have a better range of motion. Even something as simple as doing squats. In the past, when I would do squats, I would feel like at the top of my legs that it was just like kind of binding or something. And then about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks into the program, I realized that I was squatting like way further than I used to, and I wasn't having that same sensation. And it's like it just snuck up on me, and it just felt really great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And so, just for anybody that's watching this afterward, like what we do in the Boost program is a lot of strength training, a little bit of cardio, because the cardio is kind of mixed into strength training, and then one day every week devoted to stretch and flexibility. Now, would you have done this much strength training like on your own in any other workout program, or was this like a new thing for you?
Oh, I never would have picked up weights. No,
Yeah.
I owned weights, but I would never have picked them up. I would have done the normal thing that you see like in the 1980s calisthenics video, like leg lifts, maybe some squats, but no, I never would have done any cardio. It's not my favorite, but I like your cardio because you're so motivating, and it's, again, it's not unattainable. Everything is attainable. And that's something that I think is really important, because a lot of the workouts that I have done in the past, they're just so intense, and they're so geared toward like meeting goals, and it feels really pushy, and it feels kind of forceful. And I just never jived with that. I don't want something like someone telling me, go higher, go higher. I like that you're like, go what feels good for you. Listen to your body, move to where you feel the limits of your body. And it's so different.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That's amazing. So feeling stronger, feeling more capable. And I talk to special needs moms about this all the time. Like whether you're baby wearing or whether you just have a child that you have to lift all the time, like I'm constantly picking up my 5-year-old because he's not listening to me about where we're supposed to go. And now at this point, like he's big. And I know a lot of moms, like they've got to do that with their kids for a long time. And so I totally resonate with that. Like just having the strength that you can do these things, you can feel confident bending over, picking up, twisting, and not having to worry about like getting hurt or, throwing your back out, or just not feeling like you said, steady and capable and strong in those positions. So that's awesome. And you mentioned before, like your mood, this has had a pretty good impact on your mood.
Oh yeah. There have been days that I've just been in a terrible, cranky mood, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go shut myself in a room and do my workout. And I come out and I'm a totally different person. It's really great for that.
Yeah.
It doesn't help
so it really does give you a boost.
Say it again.
So it really does give you that boost, right? Like that.
Oh, for sure.
That mental, emotional kind of boost. Yeah.
It gives me an opportunity to really work out some frustrations, especially when you get some of the boxing moves in there. That's really nice.
Oh yeah. Who are you gonna punch out today?
Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's a huge part of exercise. You know, so many people come into workouts very much thinking like physical, and that's a big part of it. You know, your body will change. It can change as you get stronger and as you move more. But um, far and away, the most important thing is what happens like on the inside. That stress relief, the mood boost, the sense of confidence, and just
Yeah.
yeah, it's both. It's internal and external. Now, have you seen like physical changes in your body through the workouts too?
I have. I've been definitely, like things are slimming down and I'm feeling more um, firm in places that weren't as firm before, especially, starting at 9 months postpartum. Um, Husband has also made some comments about various things, but we'll leave that at that. And yeah.
Rated G, please.
Yes. It's all the squats.
Yeah.
um, yeah. It I definitely I've never I've never been a person that has really felt or like you could never really see muscles before, and I definitely notice more definition in that, which is really nice. Um,
Mhm.
and I haven't noticed a change on the scale, but I definitely think that I'm replacing a lot of fat with muscle, and it feels really great.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's very normal. Your body will take shape and tone, and that number on the scale is not always representative of what is happening and the changes that are
Yeah.
happening. So that's great. Yeah, and you know, so many moms have this fear of strength training that it's just going to make them like become this, you know, huge bulky person. And it's
Yeah.
these workouts do not do that, right? Like it's
No, no,
you're
not at all.
toning, you're strengthening, you feel that difference, but it's not like I'm gonna pump you up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what within the program, right? We've got so many layers. We've got the workouts, you've got the accountability, the support, kind of the coaching, kind of the group. Can you speak to any of the other components of the program besides the workout that maybe have had a positive impact on you?
Yeah, so I love the Facebook group. I love the app, the chat in the app. It's just so nice to know that I am like doing something with all these other women. And one of my favorite parts of the Facebook group is that so many of the women who join your program are also special needs moms. And I've been really resistant to connecting too heavily with other moms because I don't want my whole life to be centered around the fact that my child has Down syndrome. That is a part of who she is, but that's not all of who she is.
Totally.
And so for me, it's been really nice to connect with other moms, but in a way of like, oh, we're all doing this thing together. We're all doing this for ourselves. And the women in the group are just incredible. And the comments that people post and their progress, it's so uplifting and so nice. And it's really refreshing to have that in a world where a lot of um, women tear each other down, and it's so nice to have a place where everyone's building each other up instead.
Totally. Totally. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we'll wrap this up. So like what would you say to a mom that is knowing that they need to do something for themselves, wanting to get active, wanting to take better care of their health and their health, and thinking about the Boost program? What would you say to them to encourage them?
Well, first I would say just to stop what you're doing and do it, because that's the
Yeah,
best thing that you can do for yourself. um, don't be intimidated. It's not an intimidating program. It's not your typical workout that you're going to feel pushed and rushed. You're going to have the space to honor where you're at in your body, and you're going to be supported to honor where you're at in your body. And it's so important to do that for yourself and do that for your kids, because we all know that that's what moms are all about. they're doing it for their kids, but this is not just for yourself. This is for your kids too.
I love that. I say that all the time, right? This is not selfish. This is not
Exactly.
selfish. This is an act of love. It is. It's self-love, but it's also an act of love for your family, so that you can show up as your best, so that you can be there long term, and everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Kristie, it has been so wonderful hearing some of your story, and you plan on keeping going with this, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
You're in it,
Oh,
right? It's not something that
oh,
you do for like just a few months and then it's like, all right, we're done. Like, you're in it, and you're going to keep progressing, right?
yeah. This is part of my daily routine now, and that's just how it is. That's how it's going to be.
Awesome. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Okay. Well, thanks so much for your time. And I'm just going to